Hello and welcome back to another video. It is Ron's Revenge here, and I am finally back with a MOC video. This time, we're looking at the S1 FireHawke Heavy Repulsor Tank. Now, if you don't recognize this vehicle at all, I don't blame you. It is a very obscure vehicle that isn't even used by the Empire proper. This is technically used by the Imperial Army and not by the Stormtrooper Corps. Most of what you see in the movies is the Stormtrooper Corps, as the Stormtrooper Corps is meant to be in key locations. The Imperial Army is more of like generic infantry. They're the guys who have the helmets that kind of look like Vader's with the area open, and goggles with jumpsuits, and then we've also seen them in Andor with flak jackets and like blast armor. So this is a tank specifically designed for them. It has similar armament to the Imperial AT-AT, and I will now get in more depth about this. So its primary weapon is its heavy laser cannon, which is mounted right here. It also has a backup medium blaster cannon, which you can find right there. So this model I built as kind of like a for fun thing for me. I just think this tank is just so cool looking, especially when you can compare this tank to the 2M repulsor tank, which you can see in some of my Instagram shots as I've displayed them before together. It uses a lot of techniques that were a little bit new for me that I wasn't really used to, so I'll kind of like show you around. But in the universe, it has a crew of 5 with an additional 6th passenger. I was, however, not able to add a 6th person. I barely was able to manage to fit 5 people in this thing, because it's really flat, and so there's not a lot of space for sitting, and the more I tried to work with like techniques for adding ways to get seating, it kind of overcomplicated an already fairly complicated underside, so I didn't really want to screw around with that for too much. I did make a special stand for this model that you can see right there. I haven't yet to add it to the instructions, so be patient on that. It will probably be uploaded at some point. If you are interested in buying this model is available on my Rebrickable right now, and it is on 30% discount for my May the 4th promo. So you can get that until Wednesday, I think is when it ends. So if you are interested in getting it, it is 30% off until Wednesday. So getting into the tank, the Lego model itself, it's a fairly unusual vehicle. Sadly, the turret is not able to house anyone, but it looks like it can. There are 2 main points that are able to open. You have this section right here, which can open, as well as this top part. So I'll take it off its kind of temporary stand. This is kind of the layout of the underside, which is able to kind of segment in and keep itself locked in. So here's it just chilling on the turntable. So we'll look at it closely. So here is what the inside of this looks like right there. So it fits the single pilot right there, and then his controls are in the front there and there. And this whole top piece right here that I removed, it just sits on here and is kind of held in place by these 1x4 wedge plates. And so it's mostly locked in there. The only time this will pop off is if you flip it over. So that's that guy gone. Put that right there. And then this whole piece is able to just pop off. It is not held there other than by just friction. So that thing is all able to pop off. And then here's what the inside looks like. So there are the 4 other crew. It is 1 pilot, 2 gunners, 1 commander, and 1 crewman. So the pilot's in the front. The commander is probably one of these back one. The 2 gunners are going to be the front, which have more controls in there. So there's all the controls you can see. And then these controls are able to kind of pop in and out by just movement. The container in the back right here is where you would keep the blasters for the minifigs. I wanted to put the blasters closer to here, but I didn't have a good way to kind of do that. So I just had that container. Downside is, if you flip this thing over, the blasters are obviously going to go inside the main crew compartment and kind of rattle around. So don't just flip it over for fun. I wouldn't recommend it. But to see what the underside is, because this is the part that I'm really proud of, and I want to try doing this to more of my models, now that I'm getting more experienced with kind of playing around with snot construction, is this is what the underside of the model looks like. So I was really happy with the amount of texture work I was able to put into this thing, especially this back portion was really fun getting all this to line up with the top section right here so that it all segments in, and it's a fairly stable model. The part that is kind of the trickiest is attaching this whole section right here. You can see that this doesn't like staying together because of the little lip right there. If you build this, you can actually just skip this part. It'll still work just fine, and it'll be fully assembled. It has the right profile, I feel, for when I looked at some of the images that I saw of the source material. This comes from the hammer of... hold on, let me double check the material where it comes from. It is the Special Military Intelligence Update of the Star Wars Adventure Journal 15. It's basically a bunch of the role-playing books is where I found this, as well as there is a mod for, I think, a game where you can play this. I think it's Arma 3, but don't quote me on that. So that's kind of where this guy's inspiration came from, and I think it's just a really unique tank compared to the 2M repulsor, and it's used by a very different group of people. Another fun thing, actually, let me show you this, because this was another part that I really enjoyed, was getting this sloping right here. I found a really fun way of doing that, so let me show that to you. This part is able to just pop off. So this whole bit right here is connected. Come on. Got it. I broke it, but I did get it. Hold on. Let me fix it. So it's just this. So this is how I was able to snap that underside. It's using the newish, let's say newish. It's this piece right there. Is the 1x2 rounded brick with the bars in it. That piece, in my opinion, is a godsend. It is an incredible piece. I've been starting to use it kind of everywhere. I love it and what it's able to do with inversion. So this kind of stuff like looks so good and takes up so little space that I've been trying to do it more often. I'm starting to do it on almost every model I can just to get that smoother, you know, snot look. So this guy just clicks in there, and then this guy just kind of slots in there and moves itself. And there we go. So let me put this guy back together. And this pops on top. Bam. Top turret, of course, is able to rotate, as it should. And then this turret is also able to rotate. It is held in there by just a bar connection. It's this clip just goes through, and then that's held through the bottom on this side right there. So I was very happy with this model. I am in love with it. I can't wait to see more of them everywhere. It's just such a unique looking tank from just unusual places, and as you know, I'm a huge fan of the obscure and the unusual. So this was super up my alley, and I very much want to do more stuff like this. So if you have any suggestions of just super weird tanks and walkers that you've seen in like a video game or a comic book and are like, man, that'd be so cool, recommend it in the comments. I will gladly take a look, and maybe I'll even add it to my list of ever-growing models that I want to get to. So thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.